All right, are we good? All right, everybody. Good evening. Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act, was provided through the posting, mailing, and filing of the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings of the Town Council on December 17, 2024. The notice was, on that date, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, provided to the Westfield Leader in the Star Ledger, and filed with the clerk of the Town of Westfield. Ms. Lushy, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Brindle?
Here.
Councilmembers Hapgood?
Here.
Dardian?
Here.
Domagala?
Here.
Kiefer?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
Armento?
Here.
Contract? Healy.
Here.
Please rise for the invocation given by Councilman Domagala, and then remain standing for the salute to the flag.
As we gather, let honesty guide our words, and listening deepen our understanding. With integrity and respect, we commit ourselves to the well-being of our community. Let wisdom and truth illuminate our path, strengthening the bonds that connect us.
All right, Jim, do you have any comments tonight? No? Okay, I think the first thing that we have is a proclamation for Gun Violence Awareness Month. This is the day, this is I think the 7th year we've done this. And I'm going to ask Jen Gilman from Monster on Action to come up. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jen, for being here. I have to say, one of the very first things I did when I was elected and sworn in 2018 was sign on to Mayors Against Illegal Guns. Incredibly proud of that track record of what we've done, and I met Jen as an activist with Moms Demand Action at the time, so it's always a privilege to deliver this. So, okay, 11th Annual National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Whereas, every day, more than 120 Americans are killed by gun violence and more than 200 are shot and wounded, with an average of more than 17,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas, Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. And whereas, cities and small towns across the nation, including Westfield, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based solutions. And whereas, support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas, protecting public safety in our communities is our highest responsibility, and our law enforcement officers, in partnership with local violence intervention activists and resources, know their communities best, are the most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep our citizens safe. And whereas, gun violence prevention is more important than ever as we see gun violence continue to impact communities across the country. And whereas, in January 2013, Hadiyah Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15, and on June 6, 2025, to recognize her 28th birthday, people across the United States recognized National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wore orange in tribute to Hadiyah Pendleton, other victims of gun violence, and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas, the idea was inspired by a group of Hadiyah's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas, we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the hands of people who should not have access to them, and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our families and communities safe. Now therefore, I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, along with members of the Town Council, declare June 6, 2025 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Town of Westfield, and in doing so, encourage all citizens to support efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. Thank you all very much. So next up on the agenda is something incredibly important and a real privilege. So tonight, I get to present a resolution to reappoint our town clerk, Maureen Lawshe, to her second 3-year term per New Jersey state statute, and will also perform her swearing in. So Maureen was hired in 2014 as a town clerk apprentice. During this time, she worked primarily in the town clerk's office, and I do want to call out Tara Rowley, our former clerk, and who was a great mentor and taught the ropes to Maureen. And she also spent time working in the Westfield Police Department Records Bureau and Tax Assessor's Office. Maureen obtained her registered municipal clerk certificate in 2016 through the state of New Jersey, while also obtaining her bachelor's degree in public administration at Kean University. Maureen was promoted to deputy town clerk in 2017. She also earned her master's degree in public administration in the fall of 2021 and was a graduate research assistant throughout her last semester for the public administration department at Kean. Maureen was first appointed as our town clerk in May 2022, where she excels in a role serving the public by administering elections, including today's primary, fulfilling Oprah requests, recording all public meetings, and overseeing various licensing requirements throughout town, as well as talking to all the Girl Scout groups I bring to her office. In addition to her daily duties, she continues to be a great leader in the town clerk's office, as well as a role model for other clerks throughout the state as she continues to seek out creative solutions and technology to streamline municipal processes for residents and staff. I am confident that the town will continue to benefit from Maureen's knowledge, leadership, and dedication for years to come. And I'm going to ask Maureen to come up. We have to have we present the resolution first to council for a vote. Okay. Okay. May I have a motion to authorize the reappointment of town clerk?
Motion.
So moved by Councilman Armento. Second. Second by Councilman Hapgood. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. All right. I think that's all. So I think I can speak for the administration and Jim and everybody else on, I know I just went through a lot of Maureen's credentials, but I think I can speak on a more personal note that her contributions to the town hall go way beyond the day-to-day administration and what I call the heartbeat of town hall. She operates with humility. I'll tell you, she's much more comfortable being back there than she is up here. And she really sets a tone and is a model for everybody in terms of how to operate professionally, diligently, and honestly with such an attention to detail. And we couldn't be operating so flawlessly if it wasn't for you. So we're very grateful that you've agreed to stay another 3 years. So, all right, you ready? Okay. I, Maureen Lawshe, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties as town clerk of the town of Westfield. So help me God. Congratulations. I was saying, clerk, you forgot the pen. And, you know, I didn't also add her culinary contributions to town hall. It's always a question about what's to eat before council meetings, and she always has an ETA on how long the meetings are going to last, so we'll back up. And I promised her I wouldn't make her say anything. Of course, you already did. Like she already. Congratulations. Okay, and so just to recap, just a few minor things. We're live streaming. Thanks to everybody here who's joining us in person, online. And I just want to comment, thanks to everybody who turned out for our Pride celebration yesterday. It was a great Pride flag raising. I particularly want to thank the high school and middle school students that came out on what's always a joyous celebration. And it was always great to reaffirm our promise to stand with our LGBTQ neighbors, especially in the face of adversity, and to keep working towards a more just and compassionate Westfield. Memorial Pool is now open, right? And hopefully the rain will stop. I think the next few days are supposed to be great, but it's, as a reminder, the hours are 4 to 8 on weekdays through June 24th, and then 10 to 8 on weekends. And then beginning June 25th through September 1st, weekday hours are noon to 8. Katy area opens at 10 a.m. and weekends are 10 to 8. And it's another sold out season, and really want to thank the hard work of our recreation department with a big lift by Heather and our seasonal employees for getting this pool up and great. And it looks stunningly beautiful. It's incredible. So congrats on all of that. And if you couldn't get in this year, the wait list is now open on Civic Rec for the 2026 season. We had a couple new businesses open in town, which is very exciting. The Solomex had their official ribbon cutting last week. A big congrats to them. An Indian fusion fast casual restaurant. It's perfect for grabbing a little, my favorite chicken bowl on Quimby, but it's really fantastic. And then we also had Cafe Isola just opened up last week. And for those of you that vacation in LBI, I hear you can't get in Long Beach Island, so maybe there's an opportunity for you to get into the restaurant in Westfield. It's in the former Buddha Fish location, and just really thrilled that they've chosen Westfield as their second location. And then another place that I tried, I was actually the fourth patron I discovered, is 787 Coffee. It's where across from Sweet Green, where Fortis Coffee used to be. They've opened their first New Jersey location here in Westfield. People, I guess, in New York are intimately familiar with 787 Coffee. They've got 24 locations in New York City, Puerto Rico, and Texas, and all their coffee is from Puerto Rico. And they give it in this very cool plastic bag. And it was great. Just want to let everybody know about a few events. The MLK Association of Westfield on this Saturday is celebrating Juneteenth with their African American History of Westfield trolley tour that are always very, very popular and quite interesting. It's going to be from 9:30 to 11. It's a guided tour for 90 minutes. It shows all the historic landmarks in town and you don't realize it's what kind of rich history we have, African American history we have, and then it goes to the burial grounds in the Presbyterian Church, Fairview Cemetery, Brightwood Park, and then our Westfield's Black Professional Zone. So, including, you'll see Langston Hughes' house, Paul Robeson, and Zora Neale Hurston. So, go to the mlkwestfield.org site for information. Following the trolley tours, there is a Juneteenth celebration from 11 to 4 this Saturday, hosted by Bethel Baptist Church on Trinity Place in partnership with the town of Westfield, and we've been collaborating with them to provide them with all the setup and everything they need to hopefully keep fingers crossed for the rain to go away. Also on Saturday, there's a Westfield PBA car show at South Avenue train station, so a lot going on from 9 to 2. That is sponsored by Westfield Collision Center, Apex One, and the Northeast Drivers Club, and it's got always a great variety of interesting cars. It's free, so come on by. It's the Juneteenth celebration is rain or shine. Car show is canceled if there's rain, so there'll be an announcement about that if that's the case. And then, very exciting, on June 21st, it is, Chief Delks, I see him light up back there, the 150th anniversary of the Westfield Fire Department, a century and a half of dedicated service and commitment to the safety and well-being of Westfield residents. And we're very excited. The spirit of the Westfield Fire Department established in 1875, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So there's going to be a parade through downtown Westfield, fire trucks, vintage apparatus. It's like every kid should love this event. And it's going to end at the Westfield Armory. And in the Armory, there's going to be games, food, drinks, and more. So there's lots of information about that and sponsorship opportunities on the town website. Now, regarding tonight's agenda, we are on the Finance Policy Committee. We're authorizing a grant to renew tenant of affordable units under our Affordable Assistance Program. It's for new low moderate income tenant at the Parkside on Springfield Avenue. And again, it's 100% funded through our Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We also have an annual resolution setting the tax payment schedule for the Board of Education for their fiscal year, as well as another resolution authorizing the issuance of estimated tax bills to maintain cash flow until the county certifies their final tax rate. And a reminder, final tax bills are sent out in September. And then always on the revenue side, where we get very excited, we have a resolution to approve insertion of a special item of revenue of $100,000 to the budget for our Safe Streets for All grant award. And we're going to be using these funds in another resolution on this agenda to hire WSP to provide the necessary traffic engineering services and to administer this grant for us. Then from Public Safety, we have resolution authorizing award of contract for the replacement of modems for our police vehicles, which are reach the end of life. And this has been already accounted for in the 2025 capital budget. And we also have a resolution to award the amended traffic engineering services contract to WSP based upon the grant that I had just referenced, which there'll be a lot more information about this state DOT grant, which we're very excited about. We also have an annual resolution to approve renewals of alcoholic beverage license, including plenary distribution club license in Westfield. This is just an annual renewal that is required by state law. And lastly, from Public Works, we have a resolution to amend the contract for tree pruning services in order to increase the not to exceed price of the outsourced tree work that needs to be completed this year. So with that, I think we can get on to tonight's agenda. Let's see. Okay, I think, oh wow, we're going right through this. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the Town Council Conference and regular meetings of May 27th, 2025? So moved by Councilman Dardia, second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Kiefer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Now it's time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to the council on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
My name is Kevin Monroe. I live at 307 Windsor Avenue, Westfield. The Presbyterian Church with the MLK had a presentation about Columbus School. And that school was disposed of purposely. I know none of y'all had nothing to do with it, but it had something to do with the town council and the Board of Ed. So I went to that exhibit, and what I seen was horrible. Now, they need $188 million for 2 new elementary schools and to extend the high school. Our taxes is gonna go woo, like this. I don't think we deserve to even pay them some tax money. I know 80 to 90% go to the Board of Ed, but I feel as though until they get the kids in our neighborhood, because I still live in the same Columbus neighborhood, to go to the same school. The kids that live on Grove Street, Myrtle, Grandview, and Windsor go to Jefferson. Now, if you live on Livingston, Sterling, and the right side of Cack, you're going to Tamacas. So your best friend, Windsor, for 2 blocks, Windsor and Livingston's backyards run together, less than 15 to 20 yards. So those kids are separated. What I want to know, when are they going to put all the kids in my neighborhood in one same school, like we went to? But all the taxes keep going up. I don't mind paying my taxes, but I want to know, when are the kids in my neighborhood going to the same school? I don't think we deserve to pay them taxes, because it's unfair. Because that was a school disposed of purposely. You had Columbus school teachers that was there at the Presbyterian Church. I don't know if any of y'all went to see the MLK presentation, but I think it's wrong. I don't know what none of you guys think, but to me, it's definitely wrong. We trying to figure out what we could do to get all our kids back in the same school. I got a grandson now, and his close friend live on Livingston, my backyard right there. So what we gonna do?
So Kevin, I'll just say, we don't have any, the town council doesn't have any
Yeah,
jurisdiction.
but we pay the town council the tax money.
No.
Why should we be paying y'all tax money when 90–80% go to the Board of Ed? They gotta fix that.
What I would suggest is that you go to a Board of Ed meeting.
Oh,
and
I'll be there next Tuesday
Yeah, you
night at
should,
the
I
high
would
school.
highly recommend that. And so
I know
that,
none of y'all had nothing to do with that, because this happened in the 80s. Not
Yeah.
only that, they got rid of the school for less than $1 million. You talking about a school with all that property. We had football field, basketball court, 2 baseball fields. And I walk around there now, see all them houses over there, selling for $650,000. That's ridiculous. I think we deserve better and more respect in our neighborhood than what we getting from the Board of Ed. But the town council, the old town council, had something to do with it too. It's right there at the Presbyterian Church. Y'all need to go check it out.
Can I just make a comment?
sure, let me just wait 1 second. I want to call public comment, and we'll do that. Thank you, Kevin. Anybody else have any comments? Right. Then
Well, I just want to point out for those council people who don't know this,
I just let him talk.
Mr. Monroe is probably the greatest basketball player in the history of Westfield High School.
Next to me. My name is John Turlington, and I live at 301 Windsor Avenue. I'd like to piggyback, a little bit off of what he had to say. When we lost Columbus School, we almost lost the playground as well. They had to fight to keep the playground there as well. Otherwise, there would have been more buildings there, but there wouldn't have been a playground to service the children in that community. My issue with the tax thing is I've chosen not to have children, and I'm retired now. So when I was working, I had no problem with paying my taxes, going towards the school, but I just kind of feel that it's almost taxation without representation. I don't get anything from the school system. Of course, naturally, we want a good school system, but as a retiree, I don't see why that portion can't be cut in some respects just to accommodate seniors so that they can stay in their homes. That's my issue, with that. The other thing I wanted to bring up is there any attempt at getting a speed bump on Windsor Avenue? Because there's a sign that says what somebody's doing coming down the street, but doing 35 or 40 miles an hour with nothing to slow them down is not good. Now, I've driven around town and I've seen other speed bumps, and there's no school, no playgrounds, nothing, but there's speed bumps there. For whatever reason, they're there. For a playground where children play, and there are constantly children there that do play, I think a speed bump would help in slowing the traffic down. Now, as a senior, maybe we might be looking out for the children, and well, we should, but I get across the street a little bit slower now. So, I think a speed bump there just prior to where the playground is can help slow that up, because I get annoyed when I see it. I've been driving a long time, but I've never got caught up into fast cars or anything like that. I've always been a responsible, driver. And unfortunately, there are some things that need to be present to make other people be responsible drivers. So I'd like to think and hope that that can be addressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, with that, I'm going to close this portion of the public comment. And related to the schools, so there are some senior tax programs for credits, and I can't remember what's the name of the? Senior tax free. Thank you. Yes. Do you want to elaborate on that, Tom? It just.
How old the gentleman is, but
yeah.
there's a senior tax freeze program that he can take advantage of, which freezes his taxes at a level from basically when he retired. That's a significant benefit to seniors. So taxes don't increase.
And it is tied to income levels, so, but if you have questions about it, you can talk to Tom after the meeting. And regarding the speed bump, I think that's been reviewed. Jim, do you want to bring that up?
Yeah, I know the Public Safety Committee, over the years has looked at that. One of the reasons we had that speed sign on Windsor, to do just that, monitor speed, that sign there not only shows the speed, it also captures the volume of traffic, and it also captures speed data on that street. So that committee does look at that regularly. Speed bumps have been requested before. Speed bumps seem easy to do. Unfortunately, speed bumps do require a certain study to be done, and depending on volumes of traffic and other factors, they may not be eligible. We've looked at Windsor before, it was not eligible. But the committee has discussed other striping opportunities on the street for a visual cue to allow for people to actually have something to see in the street versus a speed bump, so they can slow down, especially before the playground. We're having a meeting this week, actually. We'll revisit it again to talk about it further, so.
Mayor, can I say one other thing about the
Sure.
speed bumps?
Council.
The other thing I'll say is, and we talk about speed bumps a lot, I'll just say that a lot of times when residents, once it goes in, a lot of residents realize that when landscaping trucks or whatever drive past it, it's also extremely loud. So I think we have a meeting this week, and there's probably other things we can do that aren't intrusive to the neighbors and loud noise that could also hopefully slow people down. But that was something I learned about speed bumps, is that once they get in and the landscaping trucks go by, it becomes a whole other problem. But I just wanted to bring that one up there as well.
Yeah, good point.
You also get a little bit of not in front of my house. I've had that too, where
Yeah,
everybody wants a speed bump except the guy who's
Lives
house is
there.
right- yeah, so.
It's very true, so, but anyway, it'll be addressed. And I would highly encourage you, Mr. Monroe, to go to the Board of Ed meeting and express your concerns. Yeah, and they also, and they look at like the, the districting and who goes where and so forth, so you should definitely express that. Next Tuesday. You're welcome. Okay, so thank you all for coming. Okay, I'll move on to bills and claims. Councilman Hapgood.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move bills and claims in the amount of $541,301.02.
May I have a second?
Second.
By Councilman Domagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Now on the agenda is reports of standing committees. Begin finance policies. Councilman Hapgood.
Thank you again, Mayor. I have 9 resolutions I'd like to move as a package. A resolution authorizing the CFO to refund Recreation Department fees, a resolution authorizing the CFO to refund Police Department fees, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for dog licenses for May 2025, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant to refund overpaid taxes, 5, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant to replenish the bulk mail permit, a resolution authorizing an affordability assistance grant pursuant to the Town of Westfield's Affordability Assistance Program for a tenant of an affordable housing unit at 1102 Echo Lane, Unit 1102. A resolution establishing payment schedule for the Board of Education tax payments. A resolution establishing an estimated tax rate for this year. And the last, a resolution to approve insertion of a special item of revenue for this Save Streets for All grant that the mayor mentioned earlier tonight, which is $100,000.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion has carried. Next up is Public Safety, Transportation, and Parking Committee. Councilman Dardia.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 2 resolutions I would like to move as a package. Resolution number 1, authorizing an award of contract for modems for the Westfield Police Department. And 2, resolution to award amended traffic engineering services contract for WSP USA Incorporated.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Domagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next up is Code Review and Town Property Committee. Councilman Healy.
I move a resolution to approve the annual renewals of liquor licenses that are held in the town of Westfield.
Second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Oh, wait, oh.
But I have to, I'm a member of the Italian American Club, so I have to abstain from,
Oh,
I guess that
abstain?
one little portion of it, I guess, it's
Got
not
it.
separated out.
Thank you.
Here, let's.
Okay, then I guess abstain for the
And-
whole
and-
resolution then.
Thank you for reminding me. Any other abstentions? Got it, okay, you got that, Maureen? Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next is the Public Works Committee, Councilman Healy.
I'll move the resolution to amend an award of contract for tree pruning services which are very seriously needed.
May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Hapgood. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. And may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion, yes.
So, Dardia, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Congratulations again to Maureen, our fabulous clerk, and